I remember as a kid watching military men and women in movies like Popeye or like Forrest Gump. You remember seeing Forrest Gump?
Yes, Drill Sergeant!
I loved Forrest Gump. But even more recently, Captain America. Everybody loved Captain America.
Before we get started, does anyone want to get out?
But nobody really talks about military men and women after they're done serving. What happens when they become veterans and they need care at home? Nobody really talks about that. So in this video, we had the opportunity to talk to a local senior center in Richardson, Texas. One of them was actually, his name was Wayne. I'd call him Cowboy Wayne in the video. And we talked about specifically, what does it mean to get care at home when you're a veteran? So in this video, we're gonna talk about this and I hope you enjoy it. See you guys soon.
Slap some bacon on a biscuit and let's go. We're burning daylight.
All right, we'll get started. How you guys doing? You guys doing all right this morning? Happy 4th to you. Oh, I got to meet a few of you before we got started, so thank you so much. My name is Charles. I'm the administrator with Charlin Health Services. We've been around for about 21 years serving the Metroplex. And so we do home health, we do veteran care, we do hospice care, we do everything. And we're family owned and faith-based. And so one of the biggest things we love to do is educate. And so Richardson Senior Center asked us to come and do an education talk on veteran care. And so I was able to meet some of you guys. Then we had a couple in the Navy, Marines, right? Army, Air Force. There you go, there you go. And same thing, you were the Navy? Navy, all right. Anyone else? Any other branches we didn't name? It's an Army, Marines,
Coast Guard.
Coast Guard. All right, that's it. That's awesome.
And I don't know why they never mentioned the WAC.
The WAC. What is the WAC?
That was the nurses that served on the ships.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's good. I didn't know that. Did y'all know that? That's pretty cool. Wow. They don't talk about that much. And this is something that a lot of veterans don't understand, is like there's a lot more out there for you all, and that's why we're here to kind of help. And so thank you for telling me that.
We're taken care of. They do remember the WAC.
Wow, that's cool. That is neat. That's awesome. Well, let's get started. It's going to be a lot of information, but we're also going to have some conversations because, you know, for us, we like to learn from you all specifically, and how we can make sure that you get all the healthcare benefits, because sometimes the VA, especially Lancaster, Bonham, it can get very confusing, right? And so that's where we come in to kind of clear up that mud for everybody. So that sound good? All right, let's get started. So that's us. We're Charlin Health Services. Like I mentioned, we've been around for about almost 21 years now. We do home health, hospice, veteran care. My job, I oversee our staff. We have about close to 70 employees throughout the Metroplex. We do home health, which is nursing, physical therapy. My background's physical therapy. Love taking care of people. And then we do all the way to end of life care, right? So we work with Medicare, we work with Blue Cross Blue Shield, we work with all of those. We also work with TriWest, right? And TRICARE. Those are the things that are covered under the VA, which we're gonna talk about a little bit today, so. All right, so here are the 6 things we're gonna discuss today. First one is the introduction to veteran care. Right, there's a lot of types of veteran care, but this one we're going to talk about is how do you get veteran care at home, right? So we're going to focus on care at home, not outpatient, but in the comfort of your own home. What does that look like, and what does the VA cover for you to get those types of care at home when you need it? The types of services, we're going to break down the 2 types of services that are regarding the VA. We're also going to talk about how do you get care started. So say, for instance, you do need care at home, and it's not through, Medicare or Blue Cross Blue Shield. You want to get care through the VA. How do you do that? We're going to talk about that today. And then timelines. So once you get all the information, the paperwork and all those things that you need, what's the timeline? What does it look like when you've done everything to actually get the care started? We're going to talk about that as well. And then we're going to give you one specific example of a veteran. We serve a lot of veterans, but we're going to actually show you one that gave us the permission to talk about it. It's Mr. Mike. We're going to talk about his care and how he got care and his process and where he's at right now today. And then last thing, we're going to talk just QA. Any questions that you have, fire them away. I'll try to answer them as much as I can and help really kind of clear the mud when it comes to veteran care at home. That sound all right for everybody? Awesome, awesome. Okay, so what is veteran care? It just sounds like a big umbrella, right? Veteran care, right? So the VA offers for veterans care in the comfort of their home. So that's what we're going to talk about today. There are services that are outside of your normal insurances like Medicare, Blue Cross Blue Shield, Aetna. These are directly through the VA, right? So say for instance, you have a PCP. I'm sure, does everyone have a PCP here? A primary care physician that they see, right? Is there anyone that's through like the VA that has a PCP? Is there anyone here that has a VA PCP?
Do you have to give up your regular doctors that you have through your regular insurance here in order to get this veterans care?
No, you don't. So that's a great question. So none of you raised your hand in terms of the VA for PCPs, right? You have your own. You have one? Perfect, great. So it's very limited. You have one too? Good. So then what about your cardiologist? You have a cardiologist that's through the VA as well? Okay, what about any other type of specialty doctors? Is there any other ones that are through the VA? No? Okay, good. So you can kind of see there's two worlds when you look at care. There's either world through the VA or worlds through Medicare, Blue Cross Blue Shield, Aetna, United Healthcare. We're going to talk about those two worlds and how do you get the best care that you need through them. Later on, we'll go to that dry erase board and I'll kind of break it down for you. Does that sound all right? Perfect. So the types of services, right? The VA, when you talk about care at home, we're not talking about Medicare, Blue Cross Blue Shield. We are now talking about only the VA. When you're looking at care at home, they basically make it very simple and dummy proof. Skilled and non-skilled care, right? Think of it that way, skilled and non-skilled. When you're looking at skilled, there's specific items that fall under skilled. That means that a layperson couldn't do these things. It would need to be a nurse, a PT or physical therapist like myself, right? Need to be occupational therapists, medical social worker. Those things are what they call skilled care, right? So say for instance, you need physical therapy, right? It's a great example. You're getting weak, you may have fallen recently, right? You can get skilled care through Medicare, Blue Cross Blue Shield, those services, or you can get that through the VA, right? There's two different routes and two different ways, but the VA offers those skilled services through that. A lot of times we'll see veterans get that skilled care through their actual PCP or their Medicare side, which is no problem. But there's also an area that we want to talk about when we talk about, which is the VA side. So that's the first. Any questions on skilled services or physical therapy, nursing? Is everyone familiar with those types of care? Good. Hey, there you go. That's awesome. So now let's talk about the non-skilled care. So this is a really big topic. A lot of people ask this question: does my insurance cover for aid services? Have you guys heard that before? If you're insurance, aid services, so someone to come and help with cleaning, bathing, cooking. Have you guys heard of that before? Where aid service? Exactly, yeah. So insurance doesn't cover that. And that's insurance in terms of Medicare, Blue Cross Blue Shield. They may do it, but it's usually for an hour at a time, and then that's really it, right? As a veteran, the best services that you can get when you need it is through the VA and through non-skilled services. So say for instance, you have a loved one that's maybe not doing as much and they don't have help at home, right? The VA offers this and they can basically get companion care, aid services, ADL. ADL is a good term. It's activities of daily living. So putting on your clothes, brushing your teeth, right? Those things are available through the VA, and that's called non-skilled services. Cooking, cleaning, bathing, veteran hygiene, right? Those are all through that.
Under that cooking?
Yes. You may have to watch and make sure they're cooking good though for you. So.
Under that cooking, does that include a dietitian?
No, so that would be skilled services. So you would get the cooking within that care, but the skilled services you would need to get that for what they would need. So say for instance you have a good example is diabetic, right? If you're diabetic, right? They would have a meal plan, but that meal plan would need to be under the guidance of a dietitian.
They've got a dietitian at the Plano.
Yeah, they do.
On 15th Street.
They do. Yep. So those are ways. There's a coordination of care that happens, but the non-skilled, they only do the things that are non-skilled, but they can coordinate with someone who is skilled. So, great question. Good question. So, within those two non-skilled, you've got homemaker services and you got respite services. So when you're looking at homemaker services, they cover the span of these, and then respite services is the same. So the VA also allows, say for instance, I'm married and I'm a veteran, right? And my wife, is basically taking care of me. Maybe I got a fractured hip and I'm at home right now and I can't do the cooking and cleaning, and my wife is an all-star right now. She's taking care of everything. She's cooking, she's cleaning, she's doing everything. The VA will actually hire my wife and pay her to take care of me because I'm a veteran. So I don't know if everyone knows that, but that is a big thing. Have you heard of that? So that's a great thing. So I will talk to you about that. Okay. Yeah, so what happens is the VA has to then partner. You have to partner with an agency. So what happens is, say for instance, you need care at home, right? And you are the one that's doing everything. You have to partner with a certified veteran agency. See, they never told me. There you go. They just said, no, there's just small, exactly. There's small little things, right? That and it's hard because, sometimes you go to the hospital and the social workers there will tell you only what she knows. And then you call and you pick up the phone, and then that person is first day on the job and he's still learning the books and all the regulations on the VA. So that's why, agencies like us, our job is to kind of help, clear up the mud.
I went to the one in Lancaster. She was very knowledgeable.
Yeah.
She said, okay, we'll go to the one in Plano.
Yeah.
It's closer to us.
Yes.
And I talked to her, the social service, she says, oh, no. And I'm like, okay.
Yeah. So that if
You're telling me yes.
so that's a good, so would you like me to kind of expand on that process real quick? Would that help everybody just to kind of understand that? Is that all right? That's a great example. So let's just say, and your name is? Emily. Everyone say hi, Emily. Hi. Good. Emily, thank you. So Emily, you're taking care of your husband. Wayne. Cowboy Wayne. Everybody say hi, Wayne. Hey, Wayne. There you go. That's what I'm talking about. So she's taking care of Wayne, right? It's a great example. Wayne, you served in the Marines, correct?
Yes, sir.
All right, how many years?
23.
All right now. All right, thank you for your service. That's pretty cool. So Wayne served for 23 years, and let's just say Wayne needs help at home, and we don't have to. Oh my goodness, so that's a great example. So that right there qualifies him to get care, and I know, Emily, you're bending over backwards trying to do everything you can to take, and you're doing a great job, I'm sure, right? And so Wayne needs a little bit more help, right? So there's two things. What happens is, the process is, and actually I'm going to speed through that so we can actually look at that process, and we'll use you. Is that okay if we use you as an example? Perfect. So this is actually the exact same example that I'm going to walk you guys through. So Wayne is a veteran, right? He's served, he's done everything for our country. The VA then creates a system so that he can get care at home. Homemaker services for non-skilled and skilled. We're going to talk about non-skilled, right? So the first step, you've got to register and verify that you are who you say you are, Wayne. You could be another cowboy, famous cowboy, but you are Wayne, right? Correct. The VA needs to know that you are Wayne, right? So they ask for your date of birth, social security number, right? And really, where did you serve? So there's a couple ways you could do that. You could pick up the phone and call, right? And sometimes you get lost in that toll-free number, and then all of that, right? Or you can go to Lancaster and verify directly, right? With anybody. And I'm sure you probably did that. Is that what you did? Did they say that he was a veteran?
No, he was already in the system.
Great.
Because he went to the VA prior to stroke.
Great.
So
Okay, good.
he was already in the system.
Good. So that is a great example. Say, for instance, Wayne was never in the system. You just need help. This is the first thing you have to do is just make sure you're in the system, right? So now, if you are new and you're not in the system, They request that you fill out a 10-10 easy form. So a 10-10 easy form is sometimes not easy. Right? It's sometimes a little bit, it's cumbersome, right? But so that's where people like organizations like us, we kind of help fill out that form. It's very simple. You just need to make sure you have a few items, right, when you're filling out the form. And we can walk you guys through that afterwards. Pretty simple. And so you fill out that form because the VA needs to make sure, okay, he's not registered. Let's say he's not registered. Okay, then they're going to say, please fill out the 10-10 easy form, right? And then you're like, okay, where's my discharge paperwork? I'm trying to get, where's everything? You got to have all those things, right? Date of birth, everything, birth certificate, what'd you eat for breakfast 2 weeks ago? All those things, right? So you got to fill out that form, right? Once you fill out that form, then that form is then sent back to Lancaster or any other. Lancaster is the biggest one in the area that they always say go to Lancaster. You don't want to go to the outpatient clinics. There's one in Plano, there's one in Garland. You don't want to go to those until you have established yourself in the system, which is Lancaster, right?
Can I ask you?
Yes, ma'am.
He is registered and this and that and the other.
Okay, good.
But like right now, he's looking for his discharge papers.
Okay, so there's also a form that you can get that we can walk you through afterwards that you can fill out and you can retrieve the most recent discharge paperwork if you don't have it. So we can help you with that. There you go. So that's another question. If you've lost your discharge papers, there is a couple forms that you can fill out that we can get that information for you. So, which is good. So, and that's a really big deal because a lot of times if you go to Lancaster and you don't have your discharge paperwork or you're not able to fill out that 10 easy form or you forget the month and the day that you were discharged, you're not able to fill out that form, right? There is another way to do that, but a lot of times you can't just go to Lancaster or the VA, but that's where we come in. That's where organizations like us kind of help with that process. Does that make sense? Great question. So, all right, we filled out that 10-10 easy form. All right, we got it done. We're good. All right, we filled it out. The next step is go to your local VA medical center, right? So you go there and then they say, oh, wow, Wayne is actually Wayne. He's not the cowboy Wayne. He is Wayne. He is who he is. He served in the Marines. He is who he says he is. And they put a stamp on it, okay? Now they say, okay. They say, Wayne, what is the nearest outpatient center to you? Garland, perfect. And Garland's a good one. They'll say, okay, let's get an appointment for you to see a doctor. So that doctor is the appointment. And honestly, sometimes it's 2 months. Sometimes it's 3 months. It's not, I've rarely seen it to where it's the next day. Unless you got some ins or some people high up that you can get that next day appointment. It's usually what it is, right? You're looking at, and because it's non-skilled, it's not, they don't see it as urgent, right? But it is an urgent need for you, right? So we usually over the several years we've taken care of veterans, it usually takes about close to 2 to 3 months to get that appointment. Luckily, sometimes it may be next month. So you go here and they say, pick an outpatient, you pick Garland, right? Boom, they'll get you set up with a visit to see a doctor, right? At your outpatient clinic, right? So between now and then, your goal is to say, okay, why am I going to go see a doctor? You want to in your head, you say, okay, these are the things that Wayne needs, and you know what he needs. So you'll prepare and say, okay, Wayne needs help with just getting up in the morning. If I could get someone to be at my house for 8 hours every other day, that would help relieve me, right, during this time. You have to basically paint a picture of what your needs are, right? Because when you go see that doctor, the doctor's going to literally say, Emily, Wayne, what do you need from me, right? Once you get that. And if you say, oh, Wayne's doing fine, he's doesn't need anything, he's just got medications here and there, the doctor's gonna be like, okay, and go about his business. I mean, that's what it is, right? Because they don't know you, they don't know what you need, right? Because he's a VA doctor and he's not your primary, specific. This is a specific need that you're needing from the VA and a specific request. So when they set up that visit, you have to really be specific with what you need, right? So say, for instance, let's just say that we're working together, right? And we're preparing you for this visit. We'll do an evaluation and say, hey, Wayne, what you need? What's going on? We'll stop by the house and say, hey, What do you need? Oh man, I like a bacon, lettuce, cheese, tomato sandwich on Mondays. And you're just talking about what you need and everything. And those are some of the things that kind of go back into this section that we were talking about, right? Right. Those are the ADLs, activities of daily living. You put together a little report that says, okay, these are the things that Wayne needs, right? So when you see that doctor face to face, right, you're able to say, okay, great, doc, what you need? Dr. Jones says, hey, I'm gonna meet you today. You come into there and you see him, and you're also, they allow for kin, next of kin, which you probably know already, and then they're gonna ask you what you need. And you've got to literally say, this is what I need, right? Because it's your right as a veteran to receive these services, right? Because you've served your country, this is why they made this system. But a lot of times the veterans don't know it and they don't say, this is what I need, then sometimes it just won't be given, right? So you go in there, you tell Dr. Jones, this is what I need. You get everything very thorough. You have everything put together and you give it to Dr. Jones, right? Dr. Jones then.
Is this with the outpatient clinic?
Yes, ma'am.
You're talking about?
Yes, ma'am. Mm-hmm.
So do you give up your regular insurance that you have and transfer over to Veterans Care?
No, ma'am. Yeah. So actually, if you don't mind, I'm going to hop. That's a great question. I'm going to hop over here because I think this will help you guys. Wayne, I'm going to use you today. Is that okay?
Okay.
All right. Don't shoot me like a cowboy now. Okay. All right. So let's talk about Wayne, right? Let's just go through and talk about Wayne specifically, right? Wayne, you've got two types of insurance that you may be aware of or not aware of. Okay, cool. So how old are you, Wayne?
76.
76, 27? 27, 27 is better. All right, 27, no, 76. So I'm guessing you've got Medicare. All right. And Medicare, there are different types of Medicare. You can do regular, old-fashioned, traditional Medicare, or you can do a Medicare Advantage plan, which you guys know. Regular. Okay, so he has regular. So over here.
When you say the other kind, are you talking about a supplementary senior?
There is, yes, there's different types. So you've got.
Is that what you were calling the other kind, other than just regular old Medicare?
Right, so there's different types. So within Medicare, you've got Medicare, and if you opt to keep the traditional, or you can opt to have the Medicare Advantage plan, what they call MAs. The Medicare Advantage plan is Blue Cross Blue Shield Medicare Advantage plan, Aetna Medicare Advantage plan, UHC Medicare Advantage plan. It decreases your costs monthly, right, to do those plans, and they may be partnered with like a prescription plan, a supplemental plan, right? Those are the different plans.
If you take that MA, do you relinquish your TRICARE for life?
No, sir. So yes,
He should have TRICARE.
yeah,
We have, okay, of course we have Medicare.
yes,
But we have Blue Cross Blue Shield because he retired from the post office.
nice, awesome,
Okay, and then we have TRICARE for life.
perfect,
Which is our third one.
perfect. So this is good. We'll use this as an example. Yeah, you got them all. You got a bag of Skittles, right? You got all of them. So Blue Cross Blue Shield, let's just say that you retired, right, from Blue Cross Blue Shield. Wonderful. For the Postal Service, right? And he's got traditional. Then you've got TRICARE, right? Very good. So there's another part. There's another section that a lot of families don't know about, which is over here, right here. And this is where we're talking about Lancaster, the VA. Because what happens with TRICARE, and there's all government's politics involved, TRICARE is really a part of this.
It's part of what, Medicare?
A part of a Medicare Advantage plan, a actual employer plan, or it's part of that. They partner, TRICARE partners with Humana, they partner with Blue Cross Blue Shield, they partner with all these things, right, to put these plans together for veterans. But there is a specific actual plan that is actually given to veterans that's literally from the VA. It has nothing to do with all of these, right? And this is where we're going to talk about today, right? So TRICARE, yes, you have TRICARE, but a lot of them are grouped with the clinical side that we're talking about, and it's not associated directly with your VA doctor that you go to. Yeah. So let's talk about this section right here. Wayne, let's talk about this. So you asked about different insurances. So you can kind of see some people have TRICARE, like you mentioned, and they have that TRICARE and they're using it, right? But then over here, when you need that non-skilled care, the skilled care that we're talking about, this is a whole nother section where that 10 Easy form comes in. And this is where the VA is out now paying you directly for care at home. It's crazy, isn't it? It's crazy. So,
I have a friend, and
yes.
her husband anyway, they had TRICARE, and he was a captain, I think,
Mm-hmm.
or a colonel, I forget which it was, but anyway, and she has the TRICARE, and when she tries to get herself taken care of at regular, just private physicians, a lot of times they will not accept TRICARE.
Yes, it's true.
Can you tell me why?
Yeah, so each provider has to be contracted with TRICARE, right?
Say it again.
Each provider, each doctor has to be contracted with TRICARE.
Okay.
So let's say like I'm a doctor, right? I need to then have a contract with TRICARE to take care of a veteran.
It's just more work for them.
It's more work for them. So that's why this section over here is designated. You've got VA doctors. They don't even worry about TRICARE. They don't worry about all that stuff because then, you see what I'm saying? Like it goes directly through the VA and then they go directly through the hospital system.
So do you get the veterans care through the VA, or are you giving up your regular private doctors?
No, you can keep them. So this is a great,
But if you need that, you have to have, if you have TRICARE and your doctor doesn't accept it, then you're kind of left out in the cold, right?
yes. So yes, it's a great question. Yes. So you see this section over here, right? This section over here, then you're having your cardiologist, your oncologist, your pulmonologist, all the ologists are all here.
So you're really going to get most of your medical care to the VA doctors rather than you have to go out to the Veterans Associated Care. It's way out there. It's just,
You're going to look at most of your non-clinical care directly through the VA, which is what we're talking about today.
Okay.
Yes. You can get skilled care, but the problem with the skilled care is because those VA doctors are not as readily accessible, right? They can't.
Hard to get appointments.
Exactly. So
Because Emily was having terrible.
Exactly.
She had water on the brain that was from Agent Orange. He was terrible. She said he was acting real strange. She said, well, everyone's telling me that he's got Alzheimer's. I said, Alzheimer's doesn't come on you like it's not like a switch. I said, we need to go see someone else.
Yes, yeah.
And we went from doctor to doctor, and we finally found one that said, no, it does not have Alzheimer's.
Oh, good.
And they went through all those testing and everything.
Good.
They have water on the brain.
Okay.
The ability to hold that care.
Oh, wow. Yeah, so that's a great, does everyone understand? Well, that's a great question, is
They
that,
may not have heard all that.
so what she was saying was that when you're looking at that clinical care, sometimes it's hard to get those,
Things to go through the VA, but once they established what it was, then the VA just came on in.
That's it. That's it.
Accepted it, but I bet that we spent nearly almost 10, 12 months
Yeah.
trying to find a doctor.
Yeah.
Because I kept saying, this is not Alzheimer's.
Yeah, and that's where organizations like us come in to help, right? That's where we are the provider, right? But we're also the advocate, right? So like, when a lot of times, like you said, you may have tried to call, and you're trying to figure out. We have also resources. We've been in the industry for 20 plus years. That's where we can kind of say, okay, have you considered this doctor? This doctor's in network. Go ahead and reach out to them. We worked with them over the last. You see what I'm saying? That's where we kind of come in to help. And if we don't know or we can't, then we also have other people that we trust that makes the time a little bit more quicker for you to get the care that you need. Does that make sense?
And what do they do? Frank would go into what they call sundowners, where he's back, I guess, in action or something, and he's just going through. Does that come under skilled care or non-skilled?
Non-skilled care.
Non-skilled.
Yep.
Okay.
So which is what we're exactly what we're talking about. Yes, that's a great question. So now when you see your doctor, does that help a little bit over there to kind of clear up the insurance? Insurance can be very, very confusing. But I think it's just a lot of times it's probably one of the main reasons why Richardson wanted us to come out and just kind of talk about it, because it can get very confusing, right? So now, okay, Wayne, you met Doc. You met the doc, all right? Correct. You met Dr. Jones. You've given him everything you need. And Emily, it was a great meeting. The doc will say, hey, I need you to go ahead and get labs done. Just a baseline. Basically, they say, hey, when can you go get your labs done? And that's quicker. It's not going to take 2 months. That was a little bit quicker. So the man said, you say, hey, go ahead next week, go ahead and go to this clinic and get your labs done, which you probably, I'm sure have you done that before yet?
We've done, I've just taken the lab work from our PCP.
Perfect. Yep. Perfect. And they've accepted it.
And they accepted it.
Perfect. Great.
That way he doesn't have to get poked.
Great. Good. And that's a great trick. That's a good one. So they'll ask for labs, just like a baseline to kind of get to know how Wayne's doing in terms of, just in general, right? So next, once everything's done, the doc will then coordinate with something called a PAC. It's a PAC committee. It's something that veterans don't know about. It's basically the doc he takes the information from Wayne, does a progress note, a write-up, and then reaches out to a PAC. And this PAC is a whole bunch of case managers, a whole bunch of other doctors, and they review your case. They look and see, okay, how many years was he in the military? Was he injured in battle? There's several different, they call it a point system, but the PAC looks at it together. It's basically just a formula. It's just like a big formula, and they say, okay, great. Based off of what you need right now, the PAC will then agree upon X amount of hours that he will qualify within a given week, and then you will get a case manager call. So see how everything is set up. You've got to get everything, which is what you need, meet the doctor, get everything put together, get your labs done, and then the doctor will then reach out to the PAC. The PAC will say, let's just say, oh, Wayne, you get 20 hours a week. That's every week. 20 hours a week of the aid services that we talked about right here. Now, what's going to happen then is, and so this whole time period, we're looking at from start to finish, it's like 1 to 3 months, right? But if you already have it in the system, you've already jumped over that, right? Maybe it's then a month now, right? Because they got to get you set up with the doctor's visit, right? So once you get that doctor's visit done, then the care starts. So now then you say, okay, they're going to ask you, do you know a VA company that can take care of Wayne? Hopefully you'll say. Hopefully it was who are they? Okay, great. They'll ask you, oh yeah, we want to work with Charlin Health. Okay, great, awesome, good. Let's check their NPL, let's check their status, make sure. We're gonna call Charlin Health and see if they can take care of Wayne. By then we already know Wayne, and Wayne's a part of the family. We're eating chicken, we're doing good, right? So we're good to go, right? They're gonna call our office and say, hey, we have a Wayne that needs 20 hours of care. Do you know about it? Oh yeah, we know Wayne. Wayne's good, yeah. Okay, great, when can you start care for him? He's allotted 20 hours for him for 6 months. It's 20 hours every week for 6 months based off of their criteria. I'm just throwing out a number. Actually, the base number that we always see is about 11 hours a week. Then it goes up, right? Based off of how many hours, how many times you served. And he's served a long time, so usually it's going to be more, right? So they call us and we say, yeah, we can start care next Monday. Okay, great. We give you a call and say, hey, we got the good news. There's care that he can get that will relieve you. What would you like to do? So, oh, well, you know what? That's 20 hours. I can get, let me take 8 hours of that and put it in my pocket. So then we would hire you for just Wayne to take care of him. So then instead of you having someone else, we hire you and we pay you the hourly rate to take care of Wayne. Exactly. Yeah.
She just told me that I was eligible, and she said, call the social worker in Plano, which I didn't. She's the one that said no.
Yeah.
Well, okay, I'm not gonna, step on anybody's shoes.
Yeah.
I was just doing what one lady told me to.
Yeah.
She was very knowledgeable.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's how
There at Lancaster.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to keep going to Lancaster. So that's why she's.
That's it, yeah. But that's how it works. So that's literally how it works. But now if you don't want to do that, then you would just use our agency to have someone come and take care of Wayne during those 20 hours. Or you could say, oh, let me take some. So the goal is that they want veterans, it's income for the veteran's family, right? It's income. So it's a blessing, right? So you had a question, yes, sir.
Lancaster, is that the same as the big VA facility in Dallas?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Never heard that name.
Yeah, it's in Lancaster. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. They call it Lancaster VA Medical Center. So so you're looking at that time period. Thank Wayne. Everybody give applause for Wayne. Thank you for Wayne letting us use you.
Can I ask you another question?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, say that you're taking care of someone, and it gets to the point where you can no longer handle it because it's too heavy.
Yes.
You lift him,
Yes.
And lift him out the other, and you hire someone to come in to help lift him.
Yes.
Do they do this? Do they help you with that?
Yes. So there's
But they can't be there all day. Every time he needs to get up and go to the bathroom.
yes.
You can't get him up.
So there's two. That's a great point. There's two areas, right? So we always say if you are a veteran, you want to exhaust the veteran benefit as much as possible.
You want to
Exhaust, use it, so you don't have to pay out of pocket for that type of care. So let's just say he gets that 20 hours, right? And you split that up to maybe 8 hours, right? And then 4 hours or however it may be, right? For that week. You have now someone there each of those days consistently. What happens next is if you need more care, then an evaluation will come, and then we'll have another write-up, and then we'll send that back to that VA doctor and say, hey, he needs more help. Can we get more hours? And we'll fight. And then they may say, here's 4 more extra hours. That's something. That's 4 extra hours instead of you paying those 4 hours out of pocket. So there's gonna be still gaps. Now imagine that's a lot of hours for free that the VA is giving you. Then if you need more help, then that's when you want to use that private pay to kind of help offset those hours. We hope this video was extremely helpful for you and your loved ones, veterans that need care at home. This information is specifically for the Texas area. We are based in Dallas, so it's information that will apply to Dallas. I'm sure there's other states that it could apply to, but this information is based on the information in Dallas. If you have any more questions, there's several links and also other videos on our channel that can help you and your loved one and your veteran get the care that they need at home. See you guys next time. Peace.